All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down something that's already happening, but its biggest hit is still a few months out. It's called the October Trap, and we're going to map out exactly how an event that's already in the rearview mirror is about to have a huge impact on your financial life.
Now, this quote right here, this is the heart of what we're talking about. I want you to let that sink in for a second. The single biggest financial event of your year wasn't buying a car or paying tuition. Nope. It happened on one specific day back in February, and chances are you barely even noticed.
And that's the whole mystery, isn't it? It's like this invisible transaction. The cause happened months ago, but well, the bill wasn't going to show up on your account until the fall. By then, it's so easy to forget what lit the fuse in the first place. Today, we're going to connect those dots for you.
So to really get what's coming in October, we have to rewind the clock back to the end of February. One day, things were kind of stable. The next, the entire global economic landscape just shifted, all because of a single military operation.
It was called Operation Epic Fury. We're talking coordinated strikes targeting spots all over Iran. Now, Iran's response? It was swift and it was smart. They didn't just lob missiles back. They went for the world economic jugular. They shut down the Strait of Hormuz. And the scale of this is it's hard to wrap your head around. This isn't some minor shipping lane we're talking about. A full 20%, 1/5 of the entire planet's daily oil supply, has to squeeze through this one tiny channel. It is a critical artery for the global economy. Think about the sheer volume here. On any given day, you've got 130 massive oil tankers and cargo ships moving through this little 21-mile gap. It's a constant river of energy and goods that basically powers our modern world. And then it just stopped. Like a switch was flipped, the valve was shut off. In just 2 weeks, traffic through that strait went from 130 ships a day to zero. The price of oil didn't just creep up, it teleported. Jumped from $71 a barrel to $120. And that was the spark. So, with the stage set, let's track the shockwaves. That initial price bomb is now moving through the economy, headed straight for your wallet, and it's coming in 5 distinct rolling waves. It all starts with the most obvious one. Wave 1 is impossible to miss. You see it right there at the pump. Gas prices jump. It's annoying for sure, but most of us just kind of grit our teeth and pay it. But you know what? The real danger isn't the gas for your car. It's diesel. Diesel is literally the lifeblood of the economy. It fuels the trucks that deliver everything. And its price didn't just go up, it soared by 47%. And right here, this is where we see the first split in how people react. Let's look at 2 different households. Meet Maya. She sees her commute now costs an extra $47 a month. What does she do? She immediately cancels a $72 meal kit subscription. Boom, she's actually financially ahead. Then you've got Ryan and Jess. They see the same increase, but they just kind of let their checking account take the hit. It seems like a small thing, but trust me, this is the start of a huge split. Okay, so about a month or 2 after that initial shock at the pump, wave 2 shows up. I like to call it the grocery ghost. See, those higher diesel costs, they have a delay. The trucking companies eat the cost for a bit, then they pass it on to the grocery stores. And suddenly, your bill for the exact same cart of food is mysteriously higher. This is where a lot of families like Ryan and Jess start to see their credit card balances creep up. And now, we get to the most important, and honestly the most hidden wave of them all. This is the one that gives the October Trap its name, and it all comes down to something you probably never think about: fertilizer. The main ingredient for the most common fertilizer is natural gas, and with the whole Gulf region in chaos, that global supply chain got shattered. This timeline right here explains everything. The strike happens in February. Then in April, farmers are looking at sky-high fertilizer costs. They have to make a tough call. They plant less. Now, you don't feel that decision in the spring. You feel it in October, when a much smaller harvest comes in and the price of fresh food just goes through the roof. That's the trap. Next up, let's talk about the summer travel tax. For airlines, fuel is their #1 expense. So when jet fuel costs spike, they don't just absorb it. No way. They pass that cost directly on to you, baking it right into the price of your summer vacation tickets. We're talking fare increases of somewhere between 15 and 30%. So again, the crucial thing is how you react. Maya, seeing what's coming down the pike, books her flight early in March for $287. Ryan, on the other hand, waits.
He's hoping prices will come back down. Well, they don't. He ends up paying $450. That's a $163 procrastination tax just for waiting, a direct hit to his vacation fund. The final wave, honestly, it's the most brutal. I think everyone was hoping, praying that the Fed would finally cut interest rates this year, right? Make mortgages, car loans, all that stuff cheaper. Well, that dream is dead. Central banks absolutely cannot cut rates when oil is at $120 a barrel. It'd be like throwing gasoline on an inflation fire. So rates stay high, acting like a heavy anchor for anyone carrying debt.
So we've seen the economic waves, but just as important is the psychological wave that comes with it. When the headlines get scary and the markets start bouncing all over the place, our natural instincts, they often lead us to make the absolute worst decisions for our long-term wealth.
This visual says it all. The numbers are just stark. If you stayed invested in the market over the long haul, you saw a massive, massive return. But if you panicked, sold out, and missed just the 10 best trading days, your return completely collapses. See, the market's biggest gains happen in these violent, sudden upswings. And if you're sitting on the sidelines in cash, you miss everything.
Okay, we've laid out the problem. And I know that's a lot to take in. But here's the good news. You are not helpless in this. You can't control what happens in the Persian Gulf, but you can absolutely control your own household economy. So let's walk through 5 concrete steps you can take right now.
Here's the game plan. First, build up your cash buffer and make sure that money is actually working for you in a high-yield savings account, not earning dust bunnies at a big bank. Second, attack high-interest debt like it's your mortal enemy. Third, do an energy audit of your life, your commute, your home, everything. Fourth, if you're planning a trip, book it now. Don't wait. And finally, the golden rule. Stay in the game. Do not sell or stop contributing to your long-term investments.
I want to just pause on that second step for a minute because it is so incredibly powerful. Paying off a credit card that has a 22% APR is mathematically the exact same thing as earning a guaranteed, risk-free 22% return on your money. You will not find that return anywhere else. It is the single best investment you can possibly make when things are this uncertain.
And this right here is really the key takeaway from this whole explainer. Financial resilience. It's not about how big your paycheck is. It's about how fast you react. It's about seeing the storm clouds on the horizon and adjusting your sails before the wind hits, not while you're in the middle of the storm. Come October, most people are going to be confused. They're going to be angry about the sudden spike in their cost of living. But not you. You've just seen a roadmap of the future. So the only question is, what are you going to do with that information? Are you going to be proactive, like Maya, and get ahead of it? Or are you going to be reactive, like Ryan,